Hi, I'm tax attorney Chad Silver and founder of Silver Tax Group. The FBAR deadline trap. Here's the real deadline. Most Americans with foreign bank accounts think the FBAR deadline for 2026 was pushed to 2027. That is wrong. And believing that rumor could cost you tens of thousands of dollars in penalties. In this video, I'm going to explain the FBAR deadline trap, who the 2027 extension actually applies to, and how to make sure you don't miss the real deadline in 2026. At Silver Tax Group, we practice tax law exclusively and have been doing this for almost 20 years. It's all we do. International reporting and FBAR defense is a major part of our practice. If you're dealing with unfiled FBARs, go to silvertaxgroup.com or call us at 855-900-1040. We prepare your defense, we submit it, and we'll defend it if necessary. All right, let's get straight to it. FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, has laid a perfect trap for 2026, and millions of Americans with money overseas could walk right into it. You may have heard a rumor that the FBAR deadline has been pushed to 2027. And here's the scary part: that's technically true for a very small, specific group of people, but for almost everyone else, believing that rumor is a huge mistake. It means you'll miss your real deadline by a mile, and the penalties are no joke because we're talking about fines that start at about $16,500 and can wipe out your entire savings. So this is not a drill. In a few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what the trap is, who's at risk, and how to be 100% sure you don't get caught. If you have any kind of financial account outside the United States, this is one video I want you to watch. You can't afford to skip it. Part 1, the two deadlines at the heart of the trap. So, to see the trap, you have to know the normal rules. The FBAR, that's the report of foreign bank and financial accounts. That's the annual report you file with the Treasury. If you're a U.S. person, a citizen, green card holder, or even some companies, and you have more than 10,000 US dollars in total equivalent across all your foreign accounts at any point in the entire year, you have to file. For the 2025 calendar year, the one you report in 2026, your first deadline is April 15th, 2026. But here's a nice little feature. If you miss that date, you automatically get an extension to October 15th, 2026. You don't have to ask for it. It happens automatically. So for most people, the final drop dead date is October 15th, 2026. Now, here's where the chaos starts. On December 8th of 2025, FinCEN released a notice, specifically Fin-2025-NTC3. This notice announced a further extension to April 15, 2027, and that right there is this trap. Hearing FBAR deadline extended to 2027 is what we're hearing, and it's what's going to cause a world of pain for you. You see a headline, a friend mentions it, you think, great, I got another year, and you push it to the back of your mind. But, and this is the most important part, that 2027 extension deadline is only for a narrow group of people who have signatory authority over accounts but no financial interest in them. It applies mainly to employees or officers of certain regulated entities like publicly traded companies, financial institutions, investment advisors, people who have signatory authority over employer-owned foreign financial accounts. And the danger here is massive. If you get this wrong and wait until 2027, you won't just be a little late. You'll blow past your real October 15, 2026 deadline by almost 18 months. A delay that long makes it almost impossible to argue that it was an honest mistake. It pushes you into negligence territory, and that's when the penalties get terrifying. Let's talk about these numbers because this is where it gets real. The penalty for a non-willful mistake, meaning you messed up but didn't do it on purpose, is now about $16,536 per violation for 2026. Let's say you have a checking, a savings, and a small investment account. You missed the deadline thinking you had until 2027. Bam! you could be looking at a penalty of nearly $50,000 for 1 year. If the IRS decides you are willful, this is a knowing intentional violation of the law that you knew you should file and just didn't, the penalties are life altering. The fine is the greater of over $165,000 or 50% of your account's highest balance. Let that sink in for a second. They can take half of your foreign savings in one shot, and they can do this for every year you failed to file going back 6 years. This is why you absolutely cannot afford to get this one wrong. All right, part 2, who the 2027 deadline is really for. So who are these lucky few who actually get until 2027? Well, it all boils down to a tricky sounding term: signatory authority without a financial interest. But the idea is simple. You can move the money, but it's not your money. So let's make this concrete with a couple of examples. You're an employee at a US company with an office in London. The company gives you the power to sign checks from a corporate account to pay local bills. You have signatory authority. You control the funds, but you have zero financial interest in those corporate funds. The money belongs to the owner, the shareholders, or maybe your boss. Or maybe you're an expat in Spain and you volunteer as the treasurer for a local hiking club. The club has a bank account and your name is on it, so you can pay for events and equipment. You have signatory authority, but none of the cash is yours. Or another classic case is having the power of attorney over your elderly mom's bank account in Italy. Even if you never use it, the IRS says just having that power gives you signatory authority and a filing duty, even if you're just acting as their agent. So the special 2027 extension is tailor-made for people in those jobs, specifically employees and officers of certain companies. And the reason they keep extending this deadline, this is the 16th time since 2011 that they've extended it. And that's because FinCEN tried to write new rules for these folks back in 2016, but they never finished them. So every year they just kick the can down the road for this very small group of people. All right, part 3, a simple test. Which deadline is yours? Okay, this is like the most important part, right? And let's figure out with 100% certainty which deadline is yours. So ask yourself 2 simple questions. Question 1, do you, your spouse, or your business own the money in the foreign account? Think about it. Think about your personal accounts, the checking account at the bank, the one down the street where you live abroad, your investment portfolio, a foreign pension plan, or a life insurance policy with cash value. If you have a financial interest, if it's your money, then your deadline is in 2026. The 2027 extension is not for you. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're a US person and you own the account, the regular deadline still applies to you. All right, question 2. Are you only an employee or agent who can sign for money that belongs to someone else? Think back to our examples. Is your only link to a foreign account through your job? Are you just the treasurer for a club? Are you a power of attorney on an account but have no ownership of it in yourself? Are you a power of attorney on an account but have no ownership of it whatsoever yourself? If you answered yes to this and no to the first question for all of your accounts, then and only then might the 2027 deadline apply to you. The second you have even one account where you have a financial interest, you're back in the main group. For the vast majority of US expats, dual citizens, and green card holders, the answer to question 1 is a loud yes. Your foreign bank account is your money. Therefore, your deadline is April 15, 2026, but with that automatic extension, you get until October 15, 2026. All right. This can be extremely confusing when we're dealing with, say, a son who is a joint account holder on his mom's account, and you may say, wait, that's not son's money. Well, hold on. The key issue is that a joint account holder usually has both. They've got a financial interest and signatory authority. Because of the financial interest, the 2027 extension doesn't apply. So a son who is a joint tenant on his mother's foreign account generally falls under the regular FBAR deadline of April 15th with the automatic October 15th extension, not the signatory authority extension of 2027. And here's the legal framework. A U.S. person has a financial interest in a foreign account if they are the owner of record or the holder of legal title, even if the money belongs to someone else. Treasury regulations make it clear that the joint owners are treated as having a financial interest in the entire account for FBAR purposes. So even if the son says that's mom's money, that usually does not matter once he is listed as a joint owner. He must report the full maximum balance of the account on his FBAR. Don't let yourself get tricked by whispers of the 27 extension. The risk of insane penalties is way too high just to assume. For over 99% of individual filers, the 2027 date is a mirage. Your real deadline is October 15th, 2026. Put in your calendar, set like 3 reminders, do whatever it takes, don't forget it. So to wrap this up, the FBAR deadline situation for 2026 is like a minefield. You've got 2 dates flying around, the standard final deadline of October 15, 2026, and the special case deadline of April 15, 2027. Don't fall for this 2027 trap. That date is for a tiny slice of people who only have signatory authority over accounts they do not personally own. For almost everyone with savings, investments, or a pension abroad, your true final deadline this year is October 15, 2026. Missing that date can subject you to crippling penalties that start at over $16,500 for an accident, and it can jump to 50% of your account balance if the IRS thinks you did it willfully. If you think you may have missed FBAR filings in the past, do not wait for the IRS to contact you. There are programs that can reduce or eliminate penalties if you fix the problem before the government finds it. If you want help analyzing your situation, call Silver Tax Group at 855-900-1040. Visit us at silvertaxgroup.com. Again, I'm tax attorney Chad Silver. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for more crucial updates to help you stay safe, save money, and avoid those nasty letters from the IRS and FinCEN. Goodbye.